Hello everyone, my name is Mike Mathis and I'm the director of Michigan State University's Tollgate Farm and Education Center. Tollgate's located right in the heart of Metro Detroit in Novi, Michigan. It's a 160-acre farm property that has nothing else similar to it in our local area. I'm at my favorite part of the farm today in our back hay fields, looking out at the beautiful landscape. Off in the distance, you might not be able to see it on the camera, but there's wild turkeys and I can hear sandhill cranes calling right now. I'm going to take you around the property to see some of our main features so that you don't even have to leave the comfort of your home to see MSU Tollgate Farm. We aren't open to the public right now or open for programs, but there's still lots of ways you can connect with the farm. We have many different virtual programs for adults and youth, and we're open for volunteering to help care for our grounds. So please visit our Tollgate website to learn more about how you can get involved. Let's go see the farm. I'm here at our second stop on the tour of MSU Tollgate Farm, and we are in the pumpkin patch. You can see our pumpkin crop is doing quite well this year, and we hope to have these pumpkins available for curbside sales this fall. MSU Tollgate Farm is a working farm. We have vegetable production, sheep, goats, chickens, and horses, and of course, pumpkins. Over the years, since the mid-1800s, Tollgate's been a working farm. It's acted as a dairy, it's grown corn and other commodity crops, but today we try to use all of our growing and our farming as an educational opportunity for youth and adults. The amazing thing is that this working farm is right across the street from 12 Oaks Mall. Those power lines are the power lines right along 12 Mile, and just over that rise is the 12 Oaks Mall. We are now at our next stop on our tour of MSU Tollgate Farm. We're looking over top of our sugar shack from our platform where we store our sap from our maple trees. So each year at Tollgate, we have a huge team of volunteers that spend their time producing maple syrup for us. It comes right out of our sugar bush here at Tollgate. In a good year, we can make up to 100 gallons of syrup. In a great year, like our record year a couple years ago, we made 180 gallons of maple syrup. And each year we do public tapping days where the public can come out and learn how to tap a tree. We also do a large pancake feast where you can get a wagon ride and tap a tree with an educational guide, and of course have an amazing pancake breakfast. Right now, the Sugar Shack is actually doubling duty as a garlic drying shack. So we have a large vegetable production at the farm that you're going to see here shortly, and we need places to hang up our garlic and dry it before it gets distributed to our CSA members. I've now ventured to our next spot on our tour. We are in the Sugar Bush, also known as the Tollgate Woods. So here in the woods, we've tapped hundreds of maple trees so that we can produce that maple syrup I was telling you about. And behind me, you can actually see the permanent tubing that helps collect the sap from the trees to produce that syrup. These trees aren't tapped right now. We'll actually tap them in late February or early March to start sap collection. At that time of the year, the forest is starting to slightly warm up, and so the sap is coming up from the roots to go to the leaves. And we can collect some of that sap as it's making that journey. The sap will travel through these tubes and collect in big tanks, where then we'll pump it out and take it to that sugar shack I was telling you for boiling to make it into syrup. It can take 30, 35, 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of syrup. So you have to imagine we need to tap a lot of trees and collect a lot of sap. Weather plays a huge factor into maple syrup production. If it's not quite the right temperature at the right time, we might not have a good year, or we could have a great year if our conditions are perfect. The woods is fun for a lot of other things as well. You can see a beautiful paved walking path behind me. That's open for walking when we're open to the public, of course. And there's also vernal pools here in the forest. We do fort building with our summer camps. We do all types of nature study and environmental education out here. Let's go on to our next stop at the CSA field. We are now in one of our hoop houses. This hoop house is being used to grow tomatoes and peppers for our CSA program. A CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and it's a method that farmers use to sell their produce. So customers will pay up front to have a share of all the vegetables we grow in our growing season. From May to the beginning of October, those customers will pick up their share of the vegetables on each Wednesday evening. They'll be getting whatever's available at that time based on the seasons and what is growing well. We also use this sustainable agriculture operation as a method for teaching future farmers that we call apprentices. Youth participants in our programs also get to experience agriculture in its real form in a real production setting. This is a great learning opportunity for how farmers can provide sustainable methods in their farming operations. I'm at our next step on our tour of Tollgate Farm. We're in the horse and cattle barn. Behind me are our two short-horn steers, and out in the pasture are our horses. We have cattle and horses, so we can do all types of educational programs. One of our newer programs that's really popular are our week-long veterinary science camps. Those camps have actually been adapted into a virtual setting. In normal years, we also have horseback riding camps, so kids can learn all about how to care for and ride horses. Other summer camps include our Winged Wonders camp, our Outdoor Adventures camp, Top Chef food camp, and anything else you can think of related to agricultural education. All of those camps are for 4-H members. We have the largest 4-H day camp in the state of Michigan. That's in a typical year when we can have on-site programming. Right now, we're working to adapt all of those programs into virtual settings so that you can have access to them right from our website. We're now here at the Tollgate Chicken Coop. The chickens are often cared for our 4-H club. That's a group of youth that work on business-type projects around agriculture. So they raise animals, they'll show them at the county fair, and they'll learn all about the entrepreneurial process. So let's see if there's any eggs today in the coop. And here we go. There's 2 eggs. They're still warm. Just before we got here, there was a hen sitting on this egg right here. So one of our team members will come through and harvest the eggs, and we'll put them up for sale to make a little bit of money to support the farm's programs. We're now in the Tollgate Animal Barn. I'm here with some of our local residents, our Toggenburg goat herd. Our goats are here so that we can use them in agricultural education programs. So the goats will get bred each year, and we'll be able to milk them with our school programs and our 4-H summer camps. They're a great opportunity for those 4-Hers to learn about how to care for animals and raise them, and they often take them to the county and the state fair. I'm now in the Tollgate Plant Nursery. This nursery is completely managed and cared for by volunteers. Here at the farm, we have an amazing group of volunteers called the Tollgate Garden Volunteers. They care for and steward our ornamental gardens here on the property. They do that through their tireless efforts and labor in the gardens. They raise monies for those gardens, and they often do education from those gardens as well. The plant nursery is one way that they do some fundraising to support the costs of supporting those gardens through a spring and a fall plant sale. The pandemic has thrown some hiccups into how we do those plant sales, but they're still forging ahead to find ways to care for these gardens. Without those Tollgate Garden volunteers, this place could never be as beautiful as it is today. Behind me is the Tollgate Children's Garden. This is one of our many ornamental gardens on the property that are cared for by volunteers. This special garden is just for kids, with a maze, a tower, fort platform, winding trails, and all types of fun that kids can explore. We depend heavily on those Tollgate Garden volunteers to care for the property. Those volunteers can earn Extension Master Gardener hours while they work on the property to maintain their certifications. We also are often hosting educational programs for those Master Gardeners as well. So check out our virtual programs called Evenings in the Garden that are available for continuing education for Extension Master Gardeners. We are now in our new Sakura Garden Pavilion. This pavilion and the accompanying ornamental cherry trees were installed just a couple of years ago with the support of Japanese businesses from around the Novi area. We love to celebrate this garden with our Hanami Spring Picnic. Hanami's Japanese for cherry blossom viewing. We didn't get to do this festival this year because of the pandemic, but we hope that in future years we can return to celebrating spring with picnics in the Sakura Garden. This is a really special new place on the farm that we hope you'll be able to come back to soon. We are now at our second to last stop on our tour of MSU Tollgate Farm. and what maybe is the most iconic location, and that's in front of our 1800s era historic barn. The barn is also connected to our conference center. Both facilities, during normal times, are available for renting for all types of family and corporate events. We also use these buildings for all manner of educational programs, especially our annual Farm to Table dinner. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of MSU Tollgate Farm. There's still many ways to get involved with the farm, even though we're not open to the public. Check out our website for our many virtual program offerings for youth and adults. We're also still open for volunteering. We depend heavily on our amazing group of volunteers to care for this property. Without them, this would never be the special place that it's become. We also can use your generous support of donations to support our operations. Tollgate annually supports almost 50% of our operating. With your support, we can continue to craft innovative agricultural education and be a resource for our community. MSU Tollgate Farm is a part of Michigan State University Extension. And Extension works all across the state to provide resources to communities from the university. Tollgate is but one small part in this entire system, but we are proud to serve our community here in Novi and the surrounding communities. We hope to be able to see you out to the farm soon.